Hello friends, welcome back to Sunny Mind. Vacations are wonderful, right? Napping on the beautiful white sandy beach, romantically sipping a cup of beer. We all love vacations, right? At least I do. I can't look forward to the time where we can take vacations again. However, unfortunately, I have a bad news. Vacations are great, but they are not a magic bullet to solve life's problems. Today, I will talk about why are vacations not magical, how to optimize your life through recreation instead, how to take vacations, and how to take staycations when a staycation is more suitable. I will tell you guys how I found out that vacations are not the magical bullet. The last year of university was a very stressful time for me. Living in a totally different city is extremely tough, not to mention the high workload. But fortunately, my parents gave me a generous allowance. Therefore, whenever I feel that I am uncontrollably stressed out, I went on impulsive vacations to nearby places. For example, Ottawa, Montreal, Washington, D.C., etc. And guess what? When I go on the vacations, I feel absolutely amazing. But towards the end of the vacation, it gets boring very quickly. But then I comfort myself thinking, I will eventually go back. But when I go back, the first few days I feel really nourished. But after only less than a week, the dreaded stressful feeling returns and vacations are no use anymore. I found out myself the hard way why taking impulsive vacations with the intent to escape reality does not work. If you do some more logical thinking, you can see why this is the case. Using impulsive vacation with the intention of escape fosters negative qualities such as escaping from problems, not thinking about solving problems, instant gratification, lacking perseverance and hard work, seeking grandeur sensation instead of development or specific beneficial activities, etc. Therefore, using vacation as an instant escape definitely won't work. In fact, research shows that a good amount of vacation's happiness brings lies in the anticipation part, and impulsive escapism vacation definitely doesn't have it. And if a vacation has lots of travel stress, it can actually increase stress at the end. And poorly planned and implemented vacation are much more likely to have high travel stress. The truth is that if you are burning out, then your lifestyle needs to be totally changed. And if you're suffering from depression, you need depression treatment such as antidepressants, not an instant escape. Vacations are not magical, but don't be discouraged. You can still maximize your quality of life through, drumroll, ta-da, recreation. And I will tell you why and how actively participating and social recreation is the most nourishing kind that you should be dedicating more time and energy to. Actively participating and social recreation refer to the type where one actively participates in an activity out of enjoyment of the activity and in the process form friendship and interact closely with like-minded participants. For example, public speaking club, folk dancing, team sports, board games, or even hanging out with your friends count. I will tell you how my quality of life has significantly increased thanks to this type of recreation. After university, I had to move out of my dormitory, meaning that I'm unfortunately no longer surrounded 24/7 by my friends. I had to find my own entertainment. Therefore, I tried out many activities such as public speaking club, folk dancing, board game, outdoor activity, team sports, etc. You name it. And guess what? An interesting thing happened. After a while, I noticed that my happiness level increased significantly. Even though many of these activities can be logistically difficult to make it to the meetings, and the activities itself requires effort. For example, I really love Toastmasters Public Speaking Club, but the first time you give a speech is quite a nervous and heavy feeling. Even when doing circle dancing, the type where everyone holds hands with each other, in which I enjoy tremendously, can be tiring sometimes, in which I sweat a lot and the sweat gets into my eyes. But the activity itself is much more meaningful, therefore I still enjoy it. It turns out that my feelings are indeed rooted in science. Research has shown that having extensive social connections and doing meaningful activities one enjoy significantly boost happiness levels. Even more, many hobbies build important skills and qualities. Due to participating in public speaking club, my speeches are very organized and coherent, like the internal mechanisms of a nuclear bomb, instead of droning on like a robot from the 1980s. Even circle dancing has taught myself to value being playful, sociable, and do specific, healthy, enjoyable activities instead of seeking grandeur sensation, overall sensation, or aggression. I have spoke a lot about why vacations are not magical. But do you think vacations are inherently evil? No, they're not. Vacations definitely have their own benefits, and research definitely show that vacation does indeed lower stress and can increase long-term happiness. And I have 4 amazing tips for you to optimize your vacation. 1. Take a vacation only if it long-term enhances your overall well-being instead of just icing on the cake. This is important because as the COVID crisis shown us, maintaining regular contingency saving is extremely important. The reality is very complex and you never know when things will go wrong. For example, if you feel that your life is low stress, happy, fun, enjoyable, you just had a nice thing, then you just think, I can live without a vacation, but a trip to Mexico would theoretically be nice, then most likely you don't need a vacation. Your life is good enough already. It's better to save for the rainy days. But if you feel that your work is really hard, you really need a break, not just a regular break, but a big break, but your overall lifestyle is still sustainable, and a vacation will re-nourish you for the upcoming period of work, then go ahead, go on vacation. Go on vacation only if it have an overall long-term benefit for your long-term plans. Number 2, plan your vacation well. When planning well, I do not necessarily mean getting every single detail sorted out precisely like the Germans. What I mean is that one should take account of long-term factors, think rationally and critically to ensure that it is actually helpful for well-being. For example, one time I was planning a vacation. There was a circle dancing retreat that I really wanted to go. However, I look at the details. It is near Boston during August. It involves dancing outside and sleeping in wood cabins. As you know, Boston is extremely hot during summer. Extremely hot during daytime during summer, and extremely cold during nighttime, even though it's the summer. And it has 3 hours jet lag from Vancouver, the place where I live. Therefore, I rationally calculated, if I were to go on this vacation, even though the activity is tremendous, the extreme daytime heat extreme daytime cold, plus the jet lag might wreak havoc on my body, in which at that time I wasn't feeling that great, which might actually make it more stressful in the long term. Therefore, I decided to go to Mexico instead. This is an example of how I carefully planned long-term factors to ensure its overall suitability. Number 3, take advantage of short and nearby vacations. This is because if your goal in life is development instead of sensationalism, in which you should be, even a small spice up is necessary. Even a small spice up is sufficient, to make your life happier. Short vacations are much cheaper and much logistically easy, which means it costs less on your budget and you can go on more often, which can make vacationing more efficient. And number 4, also consider going in vacations involving active and social recreational activities. Active and social recreation being more nourishing applies when you are on vacation. For example, one time out of interest, I went to take a private investigator course in Washington, D.C. Even though learning the content requires effort, on that trip I definitely learned lots of things, made lots of friends, and done many cool activities and learned many local cultural insights that would have been impossible if I were to just go on a regular vacation. In the future, I really want to go on more of such vacations, such as circle dancing retreat, learning a new language, or a retreat for a certain hobby, etc. It is important to point out that even though active and social recreational activities are more nourishing, there is nothing inherently evil about passively watching and solitary entertainment. In fact, research has shown that even watching cat videos, meow, can boost happiness and boost energy level and lower stress, which might increase happiness. However, my point is, since active and social recreation are more nourishing, one should dedicate more time to this type, both while on vacation and during your normal life. Another clarification is that short vacations and active social recreation vacations are vacations I consider extra beneficial. It is not that other vacations are inherently evil. After a stressful work period, sipping a beer at the beach in Hawaii is definitely also a viable option. But these kinds of vacations I mentioned are especially worth considering. Speaking of vacations, sometimes you do need a big break, but either you have a limited budget and or you're not bored with your hometown. For example, Vancouver during spring and summer is almost like heaven. Then I have a great solution. You can go on, drum roll, ta-da, a staycation. And I have 7 tips to make your staycation a breeze. 1. During staycation, you should have a clearly defined start and end instead of, I'm just going to take the next period more easily. To make this point better, you can even have a ritual marking the start and end. For example, an Australian family had a simulated flight to Europe in their living room because their travel plans were disrupted by COVID. So they had a staycation instead, in which after that flight for several days, they did lots of Europe-themed recreational activities like cooking European food, playing European games, and doing virtual tour of European attractions. A clearly defined start and end helps your mind to go into pure relaxation state during the vacation and go back to work state after your in-hometown staycation. And number 2, before the staycation, you should do a little bit of planning to see what activities to do. Although you don't need to get every single detail right, which can be stressful. And it's important to point out that it's highly beneficial to, before the staycation, get miscellaneous important works done so you have less things to worry about during the staycation. Number 3 is pretty straightforward. During staycation, do nothing except for play, rest, relax. You're here to have fun and relax. Otherwise, what's the point of a staycation in the first place? Number 4 is relevant because unfortunately, the reality is extremely complex and you might encounter situations that you absolutely have to work during staycation. If this is the case, make sure your work is ultra specific, ultra important, and have a specific limited time frame, instead of doing works that require complex whole picture planning, like certain types of accounting works that are just icing on the cake, and or continue working without a clearly defined end after you stop. By keeping your work contained if you absolutely have to work, the relaxing feel of staycation will be minimally disturbed. During my staycation, I absolutely have to get some important work done. So I set out one single day among the whole week just to do these works. And those works are ultra specific, so I clearly know my course of action and don't have to worry about the whole picture. And those works, the benefits outweighs the harm. After that single day of specific and important work, I went back to full relaxation mode again. Number 5, during the staycation, you should do special recreational activities that you enjoy and do not usually do during your daily life. During my staycation, I went on a trip to Bowen Island near Vancouver, and I also took a big massage. Number 6, your daily life routine and your activities during staycation must be healthy because health is the most important thing in the world. The important point is to wake up early, sleep early, eat 3 square meals a day, reduce junk food and alcohol consumption, and do not take tobacco, cannabis, or drugs. During my staycation, I woke up at 7 o'clock, slept at 10 o'clock, cycled extensively, and did not eat junk food or drink a large amount of alcohol. If you're tired after waking up, I have a tip for you. After you eat a breakfast, you can take a nap again. This way, you'll both be well rested and have an orderly circadian rhythm simultaneously. Number 7, during the staycation, think about nothing except for rest and relaxation. You are here to have fun. Otherwise, what's the point? As I previously mentioned, your staycation does not have to seemingly be grandeur or productive. However, towards the very end of staycation, it is beneficial to generally ponder about your personal and career goals and workflow for your next period. This helps you to transition into the next period after the staycation. With these principles, with the intent of creating a vacation-like feel, your staycation can be optimized. You can see that vacations, despite being great, are definitely not magical, in which I talk about why are vacations not magical. Since vacations are not magical, one should optimize one's life through recreation during one's everyday life, and active and social recreation are especially nourishing. Unfortunately, during COVID, there are much more fewer recreation. Therefore, let's take precautions, stay alive, wait for the end of COVID to party. And additionally, when taking vacations, one should think and plan carefully critically and logically to think what vacations are best for oneself, in which my tips are to take vacations only if there's a genuine long-term benefit. Plan your vacation well to maximize the long-term factors. Take advantage of short vacations and take advantage of active and social recreational activity vacations. And number 4, staycations are extremely beneficial in cases where you want to save money and or are not bored with your hometown. And following my guidelines will create a more vacation feel to your staycation. I hope that by thinking carefully about optimizing your vacations, your quality of life will improve. Vacations are not a magical bullet, but it can have their own point. Cheers! Thank you for watching.